been a minute. I've been in Hightail a lot. Wish the button would press when I press it. That would make me go even faster. Why is all I want for Christmas is you stuck in my head now? Doesn't make sense. What also doesn't make sense is after I'm done this, I'm gonna redo it and have no clue of the answer. For real, for real. Although that one is kind of obvious. As well as this 7. And this 5. And that 3. And this 3. Well, not as easy. Let's see, the 6 has to go here so it doesn't block the other one on the other side. And then it has to be on top because it can't be on the top elsewhere. So it has to be there. And the other one's here and there for 6s. As far as 7s go, it's unclear. Somehow unclear. There's where the 2 goes, and then here or there. Well, I assume here, because we can't block this 2. And thinking about 4, kind of obvious where that one goes, but then the last one is not as easy. Three is a no. 5 is here. And there. There. That's an 8. That's, took me a second to find it's a 7. There's the other 7. Well, 3 has to be here because then it doesn't block the other side, which is here. And so that solves for 3. And speaking of 4, then 2 has to be here. And there. 5 is up. 9 can't be here. That's not bad for easy, at least. And then we go into this, where I never do it without numbers added, and we are immediately stuck. Well, when I think of 1, I think of these 2 positions. And then I think of where it could be elsewhere. And I think of it has to be low somewhere. And whatever else, but it doesn't matter. We can keep on looking at other things, like 2. There's a lot of options for 2. I would love to have a contradiction. So here is where the 1s can be and the 4-5, or the 9-5 obviously is the only thing that remains. And I don't know. There's a dance that's going to be happening. I don't think I want to go to it. Oh, here's an 8-9, 8-9, meaning not 8 or not 9. Both of them is also true. So that means we have a 6. Nice. And then 4-5, 4-5 doesn't help. But also this covers the 9 and 8 scenario on the side here. So this can't be that. And that leaves for a 1, which is nice. And then we have 2s and 7-6. Interesting. Okay, so that's a good start. Easy to find. I mean, impossible to dodge or ignore. I mean, that's just where it is. Then we have vertical 6, and we see 2 possibilities. I see 2 paths. So then we have all of that, plus the other one on the side here, which corresponds with this one, or that one, and 6 doesn't seem to be the thing I'm going to be working with here. 9-5. Okay, we do have a 9-5 vertical, meaning this is 8. That's a 4. There we go. Couple more numbers just popped out of nowhere. We'll take it. And then we have 9-5, which means not 9-5, not 9-5, not 9-5, and not 9-5. So simple to reduce all that noise. And then we just see a 4 pop out of nowhere. Then we see a 1. Nice. This is the kind of tricks I like to do. So then we got 7-2, which means not 7-2. And that's the only time that happens. But that's fine. It doesn't always have to give us a lot of information. Now we have 8, 9, 7, 9, and a 1. In the vertical, do we have any other such hints? Well, 8 has 3 spaces, 7 has some, 1 has 2 spaces, and I'm not seeing anything significant about any of that, so nothing there. But this vertical only has 1, 3 in this position, so that's where the 3 goes. Cool. Eating carrots is like, oi. Anyway, let's see. When I look at 7, I see this 7-2, and I can't help but think there has to be a way to reduce it, and yet there isn't. There are too many other things to consider. But are there other things that can be thought of instead? 5 is everywhere except here, which is fun, because there isn't a vertical 5. How is there not a 5 there? Because of 9-5. they must be in this position, that position, so they can't be elsewhere. But that does mean that 5 being everywhere else, that means the 7 and 2, then we have a 2, 9, 8, 5, and the 6 is in here for sure. We know that. So if the 6 is on the bottom, we would say it's not on the top, but we already know it's not on the top. So it's not helpful to say that. I could look at the 4 and think of something. I could look at the 7, think of something else. I could look at 2 and notice it's in the middle in this block. So other 2's also exist everywhere. And that's not helpful. And then the only other 2 is down here, corresponding with the other 2 that's down here. But that's interesting that the 2's that are here, obviously, well, we can't have them also be anywhere else because they can only be there. So that's how that happened. And then therefore we know these correspond with these and so on. Is there anything that should pop out to me? It's just a little nutty in here. I could pop a binary. Might as well. Let's just say it's 9 and 8. We'll start there, see how the path takes us. Well, the 9, 8 doesn't actually give us a lot. Actually, it's extremely not giving. There's very little it gives. Similarly, 8, 9 doesn't look like it definitively gives anything, where the 8, 8, 3, while it does give us a 3, does that equally give us a 3 elsewhere? I don't know, but it's interesting that the 9, 8 gives us a 3. Wait, let's look at 9, 8 again, or 8, 9. We still end up with a 3. Now let me explain. Ironically, no matter what happens in the 9, 8, 8, 9 stuff, the 3 is the only thing that remains, and if I were to remove those, that would still be the case. So that is a 3. Even if we don't go down the binary path, we have found a number just out of nowhere. Which means we need to look at other 3's or other interesting phenomenon like that. So if we look at this 7, 2, let's pretend this is the 7, this is the 2. Do we get a gleaning out of that? And I'm not seeing anything particular, except for the 2 would have to be there then. And this time I'm actually following this binary for a little bit and see where it takes us. But I'm not seeing a lot. In fact, there's a lot that I'm not seeing. So let's switch it around. It could be 2, 7. Do I see more? Well, now the 2 has multiple positions, which helps possibly. That's curious. And then also the 9, 5, 9, 5, 9, 5. That's annoying. Diagonals that have no actual relation to each other. I'm actually more inclined to do this because it does give all the 7 positions, all of the 2 positions, and is less likely that I'm going to be gifted with the 7, 2, which forces the 2, and then there's only one choice for that, and then there's more choices for the 7's, but I'm not worried about that. It also forces this 2 up here, and then we're down to like only 2 other 2's. That's pretty good. That feels nice, but I'm always believing that for some reason the less affecting number choice is the one that, how do I put it? The one with the least influence is usually the case in these binary scenarios. And I'm really leaning towards 7-9 instead of, or 7-2 instead of, oh God, what did I just press? What was that? That was a 3. It is a 3, by the way. It has to be that 3 as well. Can't not be. That is a guaranteed 3 there. It can't be elsewhere. For a couple reasons. We also can't have a 3 in any other position on the vertical, so we're good. We don't have to consider that 3. We do have to consider everything else. So again, if I consider the 7 and 2, it gives us more options, which feels like the it's a weird, like, random intuition that it's not like a rule, but it's more like it happens more often than not that the one that is less influencing is the one that actually is the case. But I don't know. Um, let's see if I can find something, literally anything else, because I don't want to look at those numbers again. Let's look at this again, look at 9, 8, and then see what happens. Well, we have a 4 pop up, which forces the 5. We got 8, 2, 8, 2, that looks good, which forces this to not be 8, 2. And then that leaves, and also this is not 8, according to that logic. And then, what else shows up for us? Anything? 82729595 means not 95. If it is true, we're going to follow this binary a little bit. I think it is possible that it's true. I'm just not sure. We get 7676 mean not 7 and not 76, or not 67 if you want to really get into the weeds of it. Also, that's a 4 just popping out of nowhere. The 4s are happening, and then the 4 happens again. This started with the 9-8 configuration. So then we go on to, what's the next thing that shows up? The 95959595 is interesting how it's like, okay, it starts here, goes there, goes over here, which forces it to not be here, meaning that's an 8. That's a 7. So after the binary was popped, we're just deducing and seeing what else shows up. 95959595. 95 equals 2. Then we have 9595. 951 is interesting. Not important yet. We can't do anything about that. What do we else have? What do we else have? Phrasing. Archer. Phrasing. Anyway, let's look at what else there is. There's so many 9-5s just everywhere. Except for this is 9-6, forcing this to be 5. Oh my god, we have entirely unraveled the 9-5s. They are just going to explode now. They no longer exist as 9-5, they are just 5. Every 5, every 9 is just erupted, including other bits of the cascade we will follow. Also, if that is 6, then this is a 1, this is a 4 down here. And then we have the 5 that we didn't pop over here. We have a 6 over here. Another 9, another 8. It looks like we popped the correct binary. So far, we haven't found any problems. Until now, we just found a problem. There it is. Holy crap. Does anyone remember where we started this binary? It was 9-8. Everything else was deduction. We cannot use that 9-8, which forces it to be 8-9. Or 9-8. It is 8-9. It will become 9-8. We now know that binary. That was just so much information. It was good information and it's all gone. Every bit of it is gone. Every bit of it was wrong. Also, a lot of the other stuff that I could have paid attention to could have also been understood and also known to be wrong. Therefore, we just know other things. And if I were to pay attention, I would have known that. But I didn't. So I don't. That's how that works. Okay, goldfish. Anyway, moving on. So again, if we have 9585272, it would seem like we have less to go on than we started with before, and we gotta find our way through here. But again, this is a 4 because 8585 doesn't change anything. Interesting. So we still have 5, and then that still goes and courses its way through. So the 9 equals 7, and then we go across the whole map looking for something that's shining, and this is a 5 still to this day. That's still a 1, that's still a 4. That doesn't change because it has to be, because these are 9 sixes. And that's a 3 because of the 9 sixes. We ignore the 9s. This is not a 9. This is not a 6. So we have another 7-2 pair with a 9 somewhere, and now we say this is a 9. That's a 5. We're still on a similar path, just a differently polarized path of some bits. Some of them are correct, some of them are, I should say, maintaining through the binary discovery of the whole path that we went by. But some things are deteriorating. Great. Good to know. That's a 9. And that doesn't force anything, does it? It does. It got an 8 out of this. That makes a 5. Then we got 9. 3, 7, 5, 6. And really all I did to solve this is the start and finishing points and then noticing things after that. So after we did the binary path, we were able to solve literally this entire puzzle. This time we know we're correct because it has to be correct unless there was a mistake way earlier on, and I don't think so. So that's done. This is solved. I do believe. Yeah. The odds of picking the correct path first time, it can happen. The odds of it picking the second time, guaranteed. And then we go on to hard, which starts off with an easy 7. That's fun. Also, this 3 pops out at me because of the 4-2 pair, meaning this is not 2. Then we have a 5 that's just blatant and right in our face and unavoidable. The 4 up here, the 2 over there, 9 down here. Going on, we have a 1, we have a 4, or the 8 shows up, 5, it's still a 4, that's a 1, 6, 4. What the hell is going on with this
This is a freaking hard, and I'm just racing through this without any binary whatsoever. And then we go 5, 8. It's just collapsing. Like there's no interpretation. It just is collapsing. Or there's no like guesswork. There's no actual brain activity. It's all just do the numbers and it will collapse. What do you mean this is hard? This is easy. The way it's designed, it's kind of crazy. Okay, hold on. I might need to do a little bit of deduction. Let's take a look. What do we got? Rainbows. It's interesting that these are all the same numbers, which will collapse later. But it's fine. Then we have this, which leads to a 1. That's a 6 because of the 8, 9. And then we have also 8, 9 over here. We can't have 8, 9. So we will take those away. And then we say, because of 8, 9, 9, 5, 2 free, 3, 2, 1, 1, 1 throughout. So that's it. And then, because it must be. And then we have the 7, which must. And then 3, 2, 5, 8, 5, 2, 5, 8. Those must be something else. Guys, feels crazy. We've gone so far. Well, hold on. We got 6 here. I'll just reduce a little bit, but not much. The 5 is non-existent, so let's just get rid of that. There's a 3 up there. That's the only 3 that exists. And then we have this 3 that exists. And it's just understood immediately. And that does the 3s. Then we have this trinary, which ironically doesn't help. And then we have the 8, 9, which is interesting because this must be 8, 8, 8, 5, 8, 2, and 5, 9, 8, 9. And then, wait a second, shut my mouth. What is going on here? We have a 5, 2 triple. That's impossible. We gotta roll it back a little. Where the hell are we going with this? Okay, what the hell actually caused that? And are we still okay? Well, we would say this is a 7. Then we would say there is no other place for the 4 and the 6, so we have to go even further back in time because we fucked something up so severely. Let's find another 6 and or 4 in the square. Where does that pop up? When does that pop up? Don't care about anything else, just find another 4 or a 6 in the square. There's the other 6. Meaning we're still screwed. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. This is insane. What the fuck? I don't understand. We have to keep going. Keep going. If all of the... Okay. Okay, I thought that was a 1. Granted, that is not a definite 1. Meaning, this is a 6. That's a 3. That's a 4. According to some logic that I pulled out of my ass. And then we move on from there. The 5, I hope, is correct. I might not have gone as far back as I needed to. Here's another 4. And then 5, 1, 3. That's nice. We have a complete blank square. That's not good. Let's keep moving back, I guess. So that 6 is apparently possibly wrong. Okay, that was just a false number. Wait, are we on a... Did I even pop... When did I pop this 5? Whatever, let's go here. What's happening? Why do I feel like this is wrong? Because it's forcing these. Oh, the 4, and that is another 4, 2, 4. Why do I feel like I'm on the same path leading to the same mistake, and yet I don't see another way? I feel like I gotta go even further back. Like I had it, and then I have nothing. That's very weird. Yeah, we're just pulling it all the way back. I don't even care. That is a 7, though. Guaranteed. That is a 3. No chance. Otherwise. That is not a 2. This is also not a 2. Not a 4. Not a 4. Not a 4. Okay.
Wait, so that's always a 5. That's interesting. Very good. And neat. That. So then what? Another 5 randomly. 6. Yeah, this is very weird because it's like, oh wait, I'm finding everything, and then suddenly it just wasn't that. And it's like, how can that even occur? I don't know. Um, okay, so we got the two binaries of the 4, 2 and the 8, 9, 8, 1 in the bottom. Could pop one of them. Because I'm already extremely frustrated. And then we have this trinary, which is gross. And then we have these ones, which are like, if all things being considered, there has to be 1, 7, and 3, and 9 between them, but then we don't know which one. But apparently this is a 4. That's a 2. I need to continue this path at least. What did I just say? 8. Whoops. And then searching, we have a 9. Um, 6 pops up. 1 pops up. 4 is still a 4. 4 is still a 4. 5, 6, 1, 9. Well, one of them has to be a 1, clearly. There's the 2, 4 thing happening again, which is apparently correct somehow. It's always weird when you go down an entire path and then you're like, am I wrong in everything? And it's like, not everything, but most things. And anyway, yeah, it's been a minute since I did binary. Oh yeah, where am I going? I don't know, let's pop the 8 and 1. Leaving 5, 4, 8. And that seems correct so far. That means this is a 5. That's a 1. And then we find this 3, 9, 3, 1, 7, 3. And somehow not solved, but definitely on the right path. 6 equals 5. Um, 8 equals not 8, meaning not much. Don't know. I see 1, 4 in all of this. The 6 has to show up. There it is. I knew I'd find it eventually. There's the 6 here. and the other 6 on the top is already there. That's fine. Then we have 5, 2, and they can't all be. There's a 3 in this column, and then there's a 3 over here with the 1. There's another 1. Eight six eight six 2 5 9 8. How is this not fully solved? What do you mean? Why are there so many 7 2s? And 8 5 9 2 5 9 2. I mean, no 8s. Oh god, where is it? I can't understand why I can't find it. Vertical 8. There you go. The rest should collapse after that deduction. Should, apparently, but yet it do need one more deduction at least. Yeah, before it totally collapses. Huh. Neat how that can work. Then we have the 8, 7, which drops the 2, 8, 7, 9, 7, 2, 5, 8, 6, 2, 7. Considering the fact that we did an entire what the hell did I even do in this puzzle? My brain is like, I found everything, lost it all, found it again, and we are done in under 40 minutes. It's not bad considering I haven't been here in a minute. And also our times are pretty okay. 12 minutes for hard, 18 minutes. This is where we really lost it because we had a 8 9 that went a long way and then we had to revert. And then we had this one which was on par. So it's mostly the medium that was slow, which is ironic because we went hard and we went even faster on the hard and also did a 2 paths thing and ended up doing less time than the medium. I told you it was easier, but I was wrong about by how much. But oh my god, that was easy. Anyway, if you want to play this, this is Times New Roman. This was the, as you can see, doxing the date here. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy birthday. You know who you are. Yeah. Also played some Hightail and stuff, and those videos will be out when they're out.